I got a new toy. And I tell you what, it was a tough year. Pretty excited for this new toy. I ordered this back in February, March of 2021. And I got it late September. So I got the triple stack system. I'm pretty pumped to try this. Pretty pumped to have it. So it took them about 7 to 8 months-ish to get this sent out, which, I mean, that's just the world we live in nowadays, so it really isn't that big of a deal. But man, it was a tough year. I started the year off with 4 tags. I had that Rocky Mountain Bighorn U tag. I had a deer tag, an elk tag, and an over-the-counter elk tag. All 4 of which are about to go into a boiling pot of water for some tag soup. It was not a good year, for me at least. So first of all, due to circumstances, I had to find a new job. I had all my vacations planned out for the hunt, to go on the full week of the U hunt, to go on a full week of an elk hunt. I had all my vacations set and planned, and then I had to get a new job, which, starting a new job, you can't take vacation. So that kind of threw a wrench into a lot of stuff. So I definitely didn't hunt as much this year as I wanted to, or as I had planned to. So that sucked. For the U tag, that was the first hunt I actually went out on. It was on a mountain that I actually didn't even know existed in Utah. Never heard of it before. It's called the Newfoundland Mountain. So I didn't really know the area, but it was literally like one mountain range. If you go look in central Utah, maybe a little bit more northern Utah, if you find the Utah or the Great Salt Lake and you go left into the salt flats, there's one single mountain range that's out there. That's the Newfoundland Mountain. So I told myself, hey, that ain't going to be that difficult to figure out. It's one mountain range. So because of circumstances, I was only able to get out there for one weekend. I left on a Friday morning. I hunted Friday, Saturday, morning of Sunday, and the hunt was over. I got up on peaks, drove around the whole thing. I think I only seen one Rocky Mountain Bighorn sheep. And I don't even know if it was a ewe or not. It was 1,400 yards away, if I remember right, what my rangefinder said. And it was walking away on its way to its bedding or feeding area. It was almost dark. By the time I had gotten the spotting scope out and up, it was gone. So next morning I hiked up to a glassing spot of where I could see where it was headed. Never seen it or any other Rocky Mountain sheep again. And that was any legal weapon hunt, so I could use my bow or a rifle, and I had both with me. Preferably wanted to use my bow, but if that was going to be the only shot I could take, I wasn't going to go home with tag soup on that hunt, which I did anyway. So I didn't see anything again, and that hunt was over. The next tags that I had I had an elk tag and a deer tag. Well, I had 2 elk tags and a deer tag. I hunted the deer, man, maybe a total of 4 days. And in those 4 days, I hunted all day long. I did not come down. I did not go back to camp. I didn't go back to my truck. And I only seen 1 buck. And I thought I was going to get that buck. I was hiking in to the spot, almost to a glassing knob that I wanted to be on. This is a lesson. Never put your bow down or rifle down to take a piss. Because I got up to the top of the hill, I was warm, I was like, man, I need to take a piss, take my backpack off, and my bow, set it down, walked 3 feet away to a bush and started taking a leak. As I'm up just looking around, look off to my left, look off to my right, and there's a buck walking along the ridge. Now he's too far away to shoot with a bow, but still. Don't ever walk away from your bow when you're using the bathroom. Make sure it's within arm's reach, because it could have just walked like 30 yards away from me, and that would have sucked. Well, I was going to wait until I got to a glassing point to start recording, but I just seen a buck right here. I'm trying to get to a point where I can film him. He's a decent size 3-point. I just seen him again. And he's looking at me already. He's right behind the bush. Probably 150 yards away. So I'm just sitting down, waiting for him not to think I'm here anymore. Give it about 5 minutes and I'll stand up and try to see him. Anyway, I got into a spot where I could see it, watched it, and it turned. It was on this ridge, and I was across the canyon at about 150 yards, 200 yards on the other ridge in some shadows, and it turned and came downhill and went into some bushes. Right toward me. I said, sweet. He's coming right toward me. He doesn't know I'm here. I've got good wind. It's still early enough that I think he's just going to continue to feed. I'm going to just wait here and not push the issue, because chances are he could come straight to me. And if he can't, I can backtrack a little bit and get a vantage point into the trees that he went into and find him again and then make a plan. I just hate when animals don't do what you want them to do. They don't turn where you want them to turn. They don't go where you want them to go. That's exactly what happened. That buck turned into a ghost buck because he went into those trees. I waited and waited. Never seen him go over the hill. Never seen him go through the opening below. Went up to my vantage point. Never seen him. Kept the wind in good position. Hiked into where he was or where he was headed. Never seen him, never spooked him, nothing. I do not know where he went at all. And he was a decent 3-point. I would have been very happy to kill that deer. He was the only buck that I seen that I was willing to even take a chance at. I did see 2 other deer on that trip. 1 doe and 1 small 2-point that I pretty much just messed around with. He stood at 45 yards. Just stared at me. He was more worried about the doe that was with him because it was the rut. The doe spooked away from me pretty quick, but he just stood there. He didn't care. I think I hunted 2 more days after that and I didn't see a thing. All the things that this comes with. You get your scope with the 3 pins. I don't know how well that's going to focus. I don't know how well you can tell, but my 3rd pin is a little bit smaller than the other 2. And the reason I have it like that is because that 3rd pin is going to be my slider. So just farther away, better or smaller aiming, or smaller dot covering up what I'm trying to aim at. And you got your dovetail. I got the Fast Steady XL. I just decided I like the dovetail. I got the dovetail. All of the hardware, Allen key, bolts. Not quite sure what that little guy's for yet. I'll figure it out. There she is in all her glory. 3 pins on the bow. I figured out what that little guy was. This little guy, he's a little spacer. I think. No? I'm even wrong about that. Professional opinions. I don't know what that guy is. Nobody reads instructions these days. Why would I? I may have to bring that up. We'll just have to see how that turns out. Although I feel like, what the hell is going on? It's not fun sighting this guy in. This is where I wish I could start this year over. From when I bought this bow, putting it all together, I just want to start over from there. Try again. Redo the hunting season, redo all of it. Let's just go back. And so now it's about starting over. Rinse and repeat. It's about reps. It's about knowledge. It's about becoming better than I was this year for next year. Changed a couple of things. It's a long way before next season. No excuse for not getting started right now. So a tough year for me this year doesn't mean next year has to be tough, and I'm not going to let it.